Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Klein and I am the lead author here for our content team at Robotel. From talking to and training hundreds of teachers around the world, the feedback is that in a traditional world language classroom, students are all lacking the same thing: listening and speaking practice in the target language. Teachers also say that they do not have enough time to go searching for additional resources and piecing together a perfect curriculum. I can agree with them because I too was a world language teacher at the high school level. This is why I have gathered a team of teachers who used to use SmartClass software in their classrooms, and we came together to create something that would be life-changing for teachers. We created content using the SmartClass technology to provide more opportunities for students to communicate while saving hundreds of hours of time for teachers. How will teachers save that much time, you might ask? Because our content can be assigned at the click of a button, and over half of those activities are automatically graded by our system for you. So no more having to go over every activity question for homework with your students. You'll be able to just go over the ones that they have questions on. Half of them you won't have to scour over to grade. You can leave grading to only the ones that really need your expertise, such as the open recordings or the segmented recordings. We do have an artificial intelligence pronunciation activity that your students can also do, where they can work on speaking and get immediate feedback as well. Since I taught with SmartClass, I can say firsthand that my students had massive growth in their language abilities. They gained confidence, they became comfortable being uncomfortable, and they started reflecting on their own language learning. All of this is truly possible with the SmartClass platform and content, and we couldn't be more excited to show you what we have created. We have currently 3 different books. We have the full curriculum in English called Let's Talk English, and then we also have a new supplemental series for German and Spanish, and it focuses on the skills of listening and speaking. And I am really excited to share with you our Espanol, our Spanish, listening and speaking series that we have. So it focuses on all skills. So you will see reading and writing trickled throughout as well, but really trying to hone in on those listening and speaking skills for students. So I will share my screen. So here you see the Espanol book that we have for you. It is A1. I will not be showing any other ones, just this level for you today, and we'll also be showing what it looks like in the actual platform from the technological standpoint for you, and then give you a preview for the students as well. So beautiful cover, and then what we have up front is something that we're really excited to share, is this step-by-step guide for teachers, because a lot of times teachers are apprehensive when they have a new technology or they have a curriculum or new resource that they don't know how to use. We really put it out there step by step. We also have these guides available in English if you prefer that instead of Spanish. But it just tells you how to go through our curriculum as a supplement and be able to piecemeal it into your own curriculum, and then assign things in the hub and send it to your students and grade it and all those wonderful things. So at the beginning of our books, you will always see what is going to be covered in that level. So we have 6 chapters in each of our books. And for this book, you will see things like all about you and school, family, entertainment, things like that at the very elementary level that are learning to be discussed for your students. Then what we have is a further breakdown of the chapter. So we give the overarching vocabulary topics. There are 3 sections in each chapter, so we focus on a different breakdown of the vocab in each section. Then there are conversation activities to help your students utilize the words, the vocab that they've been using and learning in that section. And then we have this section where it's an interview of different students who are native speakers, and your students can listen to them speaking in with, maybe grammar mistakes, unscripted, probably some slang, a little bit faster tempo, but they will get used to hearing that native language. And then we have a project and assessment section, which I think is vital, because a lot of times as teachers, we're really good at testing for grammar knowledge or assessing students' writing, or reading comprehension. But what goes to the wayside because we don't have the time or have the correct resources is the listening comprehension or the speaking abilities in an assessment. So we have a section that has 2 listening activities and 2 speaking activities already made for you. You can always add your own in there as well. But this is something that I found really difficult in my class when I had an assessment to find the time to take 30 students one by one out in the hallway to assess their speaking per chapter. So here at the click of a button, students are able to record themselves, and then on your own time you can go and you can grade those. But after all, we're really trying to get our students to speak and use the target language. So having that in an assessment, I think, is vital. Then we have an index to show you an overview snapshot of every activity that's in the chapter. And why I like to showcase this is because it really shows the amount of engagement and interaction and excitement that your students are going to have using our platform. Many different technological platforms have multiple choice, fill in the blank, true, false, but they don't go much further than that. We have category matches, we have text matches, image matches, we have jumbles where they can jumble the sentences are out of order. We can have them work on word order with word jumbles, and then even spelling with letter jumbles. But with 19 different templates, we really mix it up, and we were masters of using this technology. So we made sure that we have every type of activity, open text, question and answer, all the different skills being assessed at all times for your students so that they get an assortment while they're learning a language. And then the best part is that 9 of these templates are automatically graded, which I talked about before. So this means, and this is how we're able to have 50% of our activities graded, because 19 templates, we have 9 of them that we really, really like to use. So you'll see those trickle throughout with the auto grading capabilities. So, and then it also breaks down based upon skill set. So if you wanted to only focus on ones that focus on speaking, then you would obviously just assign the hablar ones. And if you only wanted to focus on something with listening, then you could do the escuchar. But we broke that down so that you really had an overview and could assign the activities that you wanted to assign. Then we go into the vocab section so that section by section which vocab words are you going to be utilized or your students will be hearing. So if it doesn't match your vocabulary list perfectly, you can easily let your students know about other ones that they'll see, and so on and so forth. Then we get into the actual section with the activities. So this is what it would look like. You would see the type of activity it will be in our hub. You'll see what the skill sets are that they're going to be working on. There are some teacher notes here for you after the directions. If it's something that is auto-graded, you'll see the correct answers here for you so that you know what is expected of your students. And if they have questions or you see that students are getting the same question wrong, you can go and you can look and see, what it is that they're missing and assess if you need to give them some sort of follow-up activity. So I'm going to dive in though and show you what this looks like in the teaching platform and then also from the preview of students. You can see here's our conversations. And once I get to section 3, that's where I'm going to dive in and I'm going to show you what this would potentially look like. So I would like to go and I want to do this pronunciation activity here. So 1.3.2. So that would be right here. And this is a great activity because it interacts with our artificial intelligence. So it's a speaking activity that your students can actually get immediate feedback with because it will go and interact with our artificial intelligence, where then it will give the students a percentage of how close they were to pronouncing it correctly. So, and this has to do more with, instead of perfect accuracy, it's really about comprehension, and it computes and writes out what the computer heard you say in that language. So if I would go and I'd hit preview, there's a couple other bells and whistles with like a definition where you can add a definition for the students and they could click on it and know what this word meant. But I'll just focus on this part. So I'm going to scroll down and find, well, how about this one? So if I was going to listen to it first.
Yo tengo 2 años.
Okay, and Spanish is not my native language, so I will just do my best. Yo tengo 2 años. And I got 100%. Okay, so as they get harder and harder, it might be more difficult, but what's neat is that your students could go and they could try it again. Let's say they actually accidentally said uno. Yo tengo 1 años. Then it would show what they said instead and then give them 75%, and they could say, oh, I'm not happy with that. I'd like to do it again. So great opportunities for review and reflection on the student aspects. And I think that that's really what set my students apart as to who was good at a language versus who wasn't, are the students who took the time to reflect and try to do better. And when my students were in front of this type of a platform, everybody tried to do better because they got that immediate feedback. And, you know, we're in the comfort of their home or in the classroom, and we're able to take the time to reflect on it and try to do better. So then another activity that I really like and just want to showcase really quickly is the category matches. And so you obviously see a different word there for it in Spanish. We try to remain true to the language that was being taught. So this is 1.3. And I like these because they're nice and simple, but it's engaging for the students where they can drag and drop to get the correct answers. So for these, this would be listening to the interviews. So they would just hit play.
Me llamo Greta.
And then from there, they would go in and they would answer these questions. So this is what it would look like for you. So if you wanted to go and change any of them, make them more difficult, you're welcome to do that. But then know that whatever changes you make, it would stay that way. So I would listen, and then the students would know to put them in this order. So I'm just going to pretend that, you know, I was actually listening to what she said, and I'm just going to drag and drop. But you can see how easy this would be to do. Okay, so that's just another activity showcase. And the last activity that I am going to show you is my absolute favorite type of activity called a segmented recording, where students can really work on spontaneous conversation. So they'll hear a question, and then they are given an amount of time to answer, to respond. They click done, and then they move on to the next question. And I really like that they don't have to sit and wait. You know, there's no specific amount of time in the pause, so they can just click and move on to the next one. And I haven't seen that from another platform. So I really loved that my students didn't get distracted as they're sitting there and waiting.
Número 1. ¿En qué ciudad vives?
So they hear the question, and then this is the time when the students would have the ability to answer that question. And when they're done, they would just hit done.
Número 2.
And it would move on to the next
¿En
question.
qué estado o provincia vives?
And then the students again would take the time to record. And then at a click of a
Número
button,
3.
you can go, and the students would be able to reflect on their answers, or they could listen to them side by side so they know how they did. They could re-record things. And the same thing for you. You don't have to listen to the questions being asked. You can easily go and just listen to theirs so that you can grade their work, and it goes much quicker. So that is a showcase of what you could expect looking at our platform, looking at our book. I will stop sharing my screen. And if anything, I invite you to don't just take our word for it. Go ahead and try it. See if it's something that you could fit into your classroom and into your hybrid classroom, into your, you know, only on-school classroom, and see if it's something that is life-changing for you, as it was for me, as it was for my students. And we have a 30-day free trial, whether it's English, Spanish, or German that you're wanting to try. And we have a great support team here to assist you as you're getting your feet wet and trying the technology. But we implore you to go and take a stab at it, because it really will change how your students learn and how you teach. And we can't wait to hear from you and hope that you take our challenge. Take care.